And you want to be gentle with yourself because I was doing it every day for a long time, and some days you just don't feel like it, and that's okay.
Mm.
Mind you, by doing it, you're sort of exercising your anti-procrastination muscle, if that's actually a thing. Because it's not something you really want to do, but if you say, okay, I'm going to do it anyway, even though I don't want to do it, and then you realize it was actually okay, then when stuff comes in your life that, I really don't want to do that job or make that phone call or have this conversation, you're practice just getting over that hump of doing stuff that you didn't want to do and just getting on with it. So it's actually a really useful mental tool to then practice just getting on with life and doing. There's always going to be stuff in life that isn't desirable, that you don't really want to do, but there's a real advantage in just being able to just do it without actually putting it off forever and then paying the consequences of putting it off. So practicing that,
Yeah.
but also just to be gentle with yourself. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it at all. But when you do it, to make it gentle and to go to that point of being comfortably uncomfortable. So you're still comfortable in the discomfort and not going beyond that. And I sort of like another really strong analogy is with yoga. When you're doing yoga, you're putting yourself in these uncomfortable positions. You're going to the edge of your stretch. And there's a point where you stretch your muscles so far that your body tells you don't go any further or you're going to hurt yourself. And that's the point of forced mindfulness. And what you do in yoga is you go to that point of stretch and then you just stay there and breathe. And just do 2 or 3 breaths and relax in that uncomfortable position. And then you stretch the other way. And just like in yoga where you stretch your flexors and then you want to do the extensors, or you want to go, you stretch over to the left side, you want to do it back over to the right side. So you're always balancing yin and yang. The same with hot and cold. You don't want to just stretch your ability to tolerate cold without tolerating heat. So it's like that. You want to balance that stretch, but you want to go to the point where your body says that's enough, and that makes you tune into your body and how do I feel at the moment? How far do I want to go? And then just relaxing in that point of discomfort. And there is a caveat. So I've got what I call the common sense safety protocol, which is based on 5 things. So when you're doing hot and cold, you need to drink. You need to stay hydrated because when you're doing saunaing and stuff, you actually get quite dehydrated. And when you're moving the blood around your body from the outside to the inside, you want to have enough that flushes your kidneys and you can flush it out and then pee out all those metabolic waste products. So you need to drink. You need to take care of hot surfaces. You don't put your hand on the rocks. You want to take care when you're standing up. You don't want to stand up too suddenly because all the blood's going to go to your legs and you get faint and you're going to pass out. So you need to be able to take care with changes of posture and hot surfaces. You want to tune into your body and say, what do I need at the moment? And just, what is that point of comfortable, or being comfortably uncomfortable? So tune into what you need at the moment. You want to be aware of what your limits are and know your limits. Don't overextend your limits. And you also want to be aware that you don't want to do this when you're under the influence of drugs and alcohol, because in that you lose that awareness, and then you can, and there's quite well documented people who die in saunas, but most of them are related to alcohol, where they fall asleep drunk, or you're just not able to regulate your body as well when you're under the influence of drugs and alcohol. And then finally, you want to rest. You want to anchor that extreme activity with the balance, and that's like the shavasana at the end of the yoga class. And I mean, you wouldn't do a yoga class and then that shavasana at the end of the yoga class, that relaxation, is deeper because you've exercised your body. And most people wouldn't just do a yoga class and say, no, I don't worry about the shavasana, jump in their car and drive home. Whereas a lot of people go to the gym, have a sauna, straight after the sauna, they'll just put their clothes on and drive home without relaxing. That's the equivalent of doing a yoga class without the relaxation at the end. And for me, that relaxation at the end of the yoga class, that's the reward. That's where you anchor the benefits into it. So yeah, resting, I think, is a really important part of the activity. And again, so that's again another yin and yang balance. You've done all this activity and then you want to do inactivity. And I really love the idea of actively doing nothing. So and you might think you're doing nothing, but there's always less you can do. So that's a spiritual practice, doing nothing. So how much nothing can you do? How little can you breathe? How slow can you get your heart rate? How little can you think? And that relaxation at the end of the hot and cold or at the end of a yoga class is a exploration of actually doing nothing and finding that still point that then all the other activity in your life comes out of.